The man you marry is not the man that you divorce. The night that he left, I sat down and I wrote myself a letter. I said, this is for when he starts seeing somebody new, because that's going to be like a pain like no other. It would feel as if he were showing that new girl all the things that he refused to show to me. So I wrote this letter. When you see him with her and you think that he's giving her everything that you just desperately wanted the whole time, that's not him. He's the one. And then I wrote down a whole long list of the things that he did, the ways that he made me feel. There were so many little mean things. And I wrote all of them down with like little bullet points. And as I'm going through my divorce, when I would think of another thing that he did back in the day that hurt me, I would jot it down. That list has saved me so much. The man that I'm grieving may look and sound like this man, but it's not him. And I needed to make that distinction very, very clear. Anyway, that was my single best piece of divorce advice. Let me know if you want more.
The person you marry can become your worst enemy. They are an enemy that can be created over the years. And the saddest part is that they may know everything about you. That is why the best advice for a man is that your partner should not know everything about you, because with that information, they will destroy you in the divorce. This is how destroyed a man is who tells us the story of how his ex-wife cheated on him. Before we begin, give us a like so we can keep growing. Let's get started.
Hey, so if you're thinking about getting a divorce, you should probably get the divorce. Oh, but the kids, oh, it's not a good time, oh, I can't leave him now. It's literally never going to be a good time, but you're never going to be younger than you are now. And how much of your life do you want to spend unhappy? Your kids will adapt, so will your partner. You can recover your finances. You only have this one life. So what is your happiness worth to you?
Sex is the glue. Like what otherwise, what are you, roommates? You know, like there's so there is some aspect of into physical intimacy that is emblematic of what makes a romantic pairing. And whatever frequency, whatever permutation, whatever you're licking or not licking, that's sort of personal between the two people involved. The question is your relationship something other than just a friendship? Is it something other than just a roommate situation? And I think that ties into sexuality. The issue becomes, if you engage in a monogamous relationship, you are giving up novelty for what you believe to be something better, whether it's that you believe you can have a deeper connection with someone when it's just the two of you being physical with each other, and that leads to a deeper sense of intimacy and connection and trust between two people. I think there's a good argument to be made for that. There's a good argument to be made for, look, there's just an epidemiological reason to do this, like that we just want to, not give each other diseases, or we want to just not have to have the jealousy that comes with knowing that this person shares this part of themselves with somebody else. Perfectly valid reasons to be monogamous.
What people don't realize is that there is such a clear distinction between dating post-divorce and then dating like a year and a half after your divorce. Because when you're dating fresh off your divorce, you're dating to get your feet back in the sand. You are not prepared to get into anything serious. You are learning about yourself. You are learning how to date, especially after, for me, I was in a relationship for 6 years. So I didn't know how to fucking date anymore. I got myself into some bad fucking shit. I got myself into, And now it's I vet them so much differently. I just take dating so much differently and more seriously now, because I'm actually looking for someone that I can have a quality partnership with. When you're dating fresh off a divorce, you're just looking to get laid.
Gotcha, bitch.
As you can see, what wonderful advice women give. From the first one, who tells the woman, leave your marriage, the grass is greener on the other side, instead of build your relationship, to the very valid advice from this gentleman, because a relationship without sex is nothing more than a friendship. Nobody wants to spend years of their life with a woman in a dead bedroom. For that, I'd rather stay alone or find someone else. I know there are marriages that last for the children and others to avoid splitting assets, but you only have one life, and wasting it with a woman who doesn't love you is horrible. And the last woman who speaks is the typical one. Her marriage didn't last at all, only 6 years, and as soon as it ended, she went off to have fun with others. That's why she now advises you not to do it too quickly. So you can imagine what her marriage was like just by seeing how she ended up. Brothers, the wall is unforgiving.
Men are fucking done. And at the same time, women at home are saying, where are all the good men? All the good men were ruined by plenty of women. They had money taken from them. They had their finances fucking crumble because of some women. They had their children taken away from them. They lost jobs. They tried to give and give and give all the fucking time. And all these women did was belittle them, disrespect them, mental abuse, physical abuse. There is so much abuse involved now that the good men are fucking done. They're not going to sit there and listen to the BS no more. They're not going to sit there and keep being disrespected. A man wants one thing in a relationship more than he ever wants love, and that's respect. And if you can't provide him with that, move the fuck over.
What a great truth this woman is saying. Men are fed up, and those who aren't yet are learning from those who have already been through it. Today, men are choosing their peace, their money, their career, their tranquility. A life where they don't have to answer to a woman who doesn't value anything you do for her. And on top of that, to be with her, you have to sign a contract where you put everything at risk, and she takes half if she decides to leave. They get married, go through a disastrous divorce, and in the end, they also have to put up with the complaints and hatred from society when it was the wife who failed him. If you doubt it, look at the following story.
I want to share with you the last thing that I did before I eventually divorced my ex-wife, cheating ex-wife. So, guys, there's a couple very heartbreaking moments in this 2 to 3 day span of events that I'm going to share with you, obviously. A couple twists and turns, right? So, she'd already been cheating on me. I already knew about that, the infidelity, about her and the other guys, right? She was not on speaking terms with her mother and her stepdad. And in a way for them to try to help, they would communicate with me, and then I would communicate with her, and then back and forth. And so I was caught in between this manipulation. And so, in a last-ditch effort, right? And I had written her plenty of letters and bought her flowers. I've done it all, right? I wrote her like a 4 or 5 page letter where I just spilled my heart into it. And I don't even remember why I even did this, but I sent it to her mom, and it was like, basically, what do you think? Because I was caught in between this manipulation where I was going to the person that knew her, if not better than me, and I was like, hey, what do I have to do? And she was like, I loved the letter, and it made her cry or whatever. And she's like, she's going to read that, and she's going to come back, Zach. She's going to see what she's ruining. This is her own mother, by the way, saying these things. So I wrote the letter, and this is in the same day. I wrote the letter. I left the letter on our kitchen counter, right? And we had been sleeping in separate bedrooms, obviously. And I had gotten the flowers, got a vase, put the letter underneath, right? And I left for work, as I had done, and this was a Friday, right? And so I had texted her and said, hey, I love you. I hope that later tonight that you and I can just go somewhere. Loved going to get ice cream or whatever it was. Just something that we can sit down and just talk. Because she never wanted to talk. She always avoided the conversation. Right? So, and all she did was just like the message. So I go throughout my day. I'm working and trying to be distract myself with my work. And that is when I found out the truth of the betrayal. That's when I had discovered that her family not only knew about the man, but they had been lying to me and maintaining face about it. And this had been going on for at least a month and a half up until that point. And I just remember I was driving home, and I was very emotional. I was shaking, right? I was just so heartbroken. I was so depressed. And so I come back to the house, and had almost forgotten that I even wrote the letter. And
This is quite harsh, but there are some things you can learn here. The first is that your wife's family is not your family. She can be the worst woman to you. They may know she is unfaithful, but she is their family and they will be on her side, especially the mothers, who support their daughters and know them quite well. And it's not for nothing that they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Another thing is how cold a woman becomes when she no longer loves you. It's like the girl you are trying to win over and you know she doesn't like you. She simply treats you with cruelty and ignores you because you don't interest her. Just seeing how she didn't even bother to write a message says it all. That woman already belonged to someone else. She was simply trapped with you. It is hard because this man wanted to fix the situation. What he didn't know is that he was not the problem, but that there was already another man. But let's continue.
I walk into down the hallway. I can see it. Open the front door. I can see into our kitchen, right? And she had basically, I had folded it a certain way that you have to open it up to read the whole thing. And she didn't even read the whole thing. I mean, she could have taken it, but she didn't even do that. So what did I do? I got really angry and I grabbed the vase with the flowers and I slammed it on the ground. And it left a mark. It's still there in the house. And then I grabbed that letter and I tore it to pieces and I threw it away. And then I went into our shower in full work clothes that I was wearing that day, shoes and all. I sat in the shower under that hot water until it ran cold. So I didn't feel anything. And I needed to do something to just feel something in that moment. And I sat there, I don't know how long I sat there. I mean, obviously till the water was cold. And I looking back, I'm like, man, you kind of look ridiculous. This grown man, full work clothes, sitting in the shower in the dark, just looking completely hopeless and useless and depressed, because I was. And that was one of the lowest points I've ever felt in my life. And this is also during the time that my father had just gotten out of the hospital after having a stroke. And, you're like, my whole world's coming down on top of me. What am I supposed to do? So, I just had to do something. And eventually I picked myself up. I took off the wet clothes and I set my shoes out to dry, and I went and swept the kitchen, picked up the flowers, cleaned up all the glass, made sure it was, nothing else was damaged, which it wasn't. And I made a decision. I made a decision that I am not going to be a part of this family any longer than I need to be, nor this marriage. And that I need to stand up for myself. That I was a son of God. I am a son of God. That I have value and that I have worth. And that there's a woman and there's a family. There's someone out there that will appreciate me. So, yeah. Forgive me for being emotional. But it's something I never want to go through again.
This man handled it well. He didn't go to confront her. He didn't make a scene. He didn't do anything he could regret. He felt the blow. He let it out, and that's fine. Crying in private is not weakness. It is processing. The problem is when you stay there lying on the ground. He didn't stay. He got up, cleaned himself off, and made a decision. You shake off the dust, go to a good lawyer, and destroy her in the divorce before she destroys you. After that, zero contact with that woman. Everything through your lawyer. You start putting your life back together because a person who can't even read a letter, knowing she is cheating on you, doesn't deserve to know anything about you. Yes, man, out there will be another woman who values you. As I have always said, I would rather start something new 1,000 times than forgive someone who cheated. There are too many women in the world to give your life for just one. So this gentleman handled it quite well. We have reached the end, but before we close, tell me in the comments. What does a man do when he discovers his wife cheated on him? Does he stay or does he leave? Would you put up with a dead bedroom just to stay married? Do you think marriage is still worth it in 2025? If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.